After a couple weeks, I wanted to call this July 11th workshop to order now that it's 9:30, and if we want to get started with Public Works.
Good morning, Kelly Hammer-Levy, Public Works Director. I also have with me today our Capital Improvements Director, Mona Gabriel, in the back in case we have some project-specific questions that come up. So I'm going to go ahead and get us started because I know you have a busy morning. So Public Works provides capital support for parks and solid waste, but our biggest program areas are in the area of transportation and the physical environment, which includes stormwater, environmental, natural environment, and of course coastal management. I'm going to provide updates on most of those with the exception of solid waste because I know Paul Sacco is going to be back here in August for a work session and he'll update you on his program areas. The program highlights will be focused largely on ARPA or American Rescue Plan Act projects and penny funded projects, but I will touch on a couple other program areas like coastal and ATMS, which are funded in a different way. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and start with the capital program overview, since it is our largest effort. This is 42nd Avenue in Lealman. This project was actually completed in March and included the roadway was actually reconstructed and sidewalks were added on both sides of the street. This is an important one to note that it was in the Linking Lealman Action Plan and a penny for priority. So it's done and we have fulfilled that commitment to the community. This project also received funding from the Department of Transportation. 46th Avenue is also an important corridor in the Lealman community and is in the Linking Lealman Action Plan. Was also identified as a penny for priority. This project is actually now complete, included roadway reconstruction, drainage improvements, and new sidewalks, and was wholly funded by the penny for Pinellas. Moving to the eastern section of 46th Avenue, this project includes drainage improvements, an 8-foot sidewalk on the north side and a 5-foot sidewalk on the south. This project was just bid, and we've received those bids now, so it'll be coming to a BCC agenda very soon, and is funded by both American Rescue Act Plan dollars and penny for Pinellas. The Old Coachman Road Bridge project is well underway. This bridge was originally constructed in 1925, so it's 99 years old. It served a very good purpose for a long time. The project also includes improvements to Alligator Creek itself so that we can prevent the approaches in the bridge from being overtopped during significant storm events. It's funded through penny, American Rescue Plan Act, and multimodal impact fees, and also is a penny for priority. So you'll be seeing that identified on a lot of these projects. 71st Street, this is actually a 1-mile section of Belcher Road south of Park Boulevard, and it was identified as a penny for priority, including sidewalk, roadway, and drainage improvements. We will be installing a wide sidewalk along the west side of 71st so that it connects to the City of St. Petersburg 71st Street Trail Connector, and then to the north, it will ultimately connect to the planned Joe's Creek Greenway Trail, and is funded by penny and ARPA. So this is one of our more substantial efforts in the East Lake Corridor. The first effort I'm going to talk about here is the preliminary, the project development and environmental study. So in 2022, we completed a preliminary corridor analysis and an alternatives development study. A PD&E is required to further examine the need for the improvements, to do the necessary environmental analysis, and we'll look at the entire corridor from Curlew Road to Trinity. This is a federal requirement, so if we want to be eligible for federal dollars, we have to complete a PD&E, and the outcomes here will include recommended alternatives for both the roadway and intersection improvements. While the PD&E is underway, we are currently working on 4 standalone projects. The first one is Keystone Road and East Lake Road Emergency Access. This is actually an intermediate step to improve fire rescue response until the PD&E is complete and we have a recommended alternative for the intersection. But this will include adding an additional through lane and will include extending the left turn queues in both directions on Keystone. Oops, sorry, go back. On the right-hand side, here, number 2 is the bridge over Brooker Creek. In this location, we have the northbound is already 3 lanes. Widening that bridge over Brooker Creek will allow us to add a 3rd lane in the southbound direction, eliminating that bottleneck. The 3rd project we have is the bridge, widening the McMullen Booth Bridge over Tampa Road. And this would include widening to the middle. So as an intermediate step before we go into design on that project, we're doing an evaluation to make sure the bridge can be widened to the middle. It was designed to be widened to the middle, but we're going to verify and make sure it's still in good condition and can handle that widening. But this would allow us to add a 3rd lane to McMullen Booth Road and East Lake in the north and southbound directions between the on and off ramps.
Commissioners, on this project, this is probably one of the largest, county projects that, we'll undertake. Senator Hooper has, expressed interest in being very helpful, through him being the appropriations chair. And what we need to figure out, and we're working on that, is how best to work with Senator Hooper to align maximizing state dollars on this project. Because it'll be done in phases. You got these individual projects, but you also have ultimately the widening, which may take a decade. But we need a plan for the entire thing and how to maximize, state resources on that. So we're working on that. We'll come back to you with our ideas when we have better thoughts regarding the timing, the funding packages, and the pieces that we could be successful in this. Ultimately, this project is what, over $200 million?
Yes.
And so it's going to require a lot of funding and multiple pennies and other state resources in order to be able to complete that.
Okay, Commissioner Akers has a question.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to make sure I understood the previous slide, which talked about doing the PD&E for the entire corridor.
Right.
So that's a work in progress, making us potentially eligible for federal funds. The second page, which talked about, it looks like 4 separate projects, and these are pieces of what that overall project would be.
Correct.
Are these being advanced independently, or are they just being advanced to study further and develop further? It looks like it says advancing to design. All 4 projects are advancing to design?
We are advancing them to design. And what this will allow us to do is, as Barry talked about, there are different pots of money. There's federal work, if we're applying through working with Senator Hooper. There's state dollars, which is local, so we don't need to meet the federal requirements. But if it comes down from work plan money, federal work plan money, then it has to meet federal. So what this will allow us to do is if we're able to get some state dollars, we can advance these into construction and go. If we don't, we will get these projects to 60% design and we can pause while the PD&E catches up and then continue on. But at the end of the day, we will end up with 4 shovel-ready projects that we can move as soon as funding is available.
We'll have our own estimate on the cost that we'd be applying for.
Right.
Correct.
And,
Yes.
and the question is, how best to position ourselves? Would the state efforts through Senator Hooper be best helping with funding these projects, or how best to package it? Or should we take on certain projects and then put specific projects to the state, or make them several projects and with a state match, or how best to position ourselves on that? And it's also, really important that the interconnect of this entire corridor is part of ultimately what gets built, because that'll move capacity before you actually have road widening occurring.
Understand. And so just for clarification then on the number 3 project, that's not changing the bridge, it's just widening the bridge. It's a fairly new bridge.
Correct, yes.
We're just
it's
connecting
widening
the
it.
2 ramps, basically.
It was designed to be widened in the middle. So, yeah, that's what we're what's being proposed.
And the bridge over Brooker Creek, is that a new bridge or is that a widening also?
That would be a replacement. It is,
Already, huh?
yes.
Same with that off-ramp.
Would that be
Both of-
a widening or a replacement? Replacement, yeah, that's what I
So
thought.
that one and the off-ramp bridge are both aged to a point where they have to be replaced already?
Yeah, the number 4, the off-ramp bridge, yeah, that has actually been in our program for replacement. Yeah.
So they're not the 99-year type, like the good old bridge that lasts forever. These are not that old. I mean, these aren't, I mean, how old are these?
I believe the off-ramp, we just looked at this, I think it was constructed in the 70s.
Yeah.
Well, I can get back
Yeah,
to you on
whatever.
those.
I'm just
I
saying
have
it's-
them, but I believe that bridge was, it was like 71 or something like that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you,
Commissioner
Madam
Scott
Chair.
has a question.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So Barry, I think you said $200 million. Is that for what we estimate for all 4 projects?
Yeah,
Or just?
That is our preliminary planning estimate for all the improvements, including the widening. So it's a very preliminary number. It's based on that corridor study we did back in 2022. Plus, we have the bridge at Ridgemore being replaced right now. And we have multiple bridges being replaced right now. So we have a lot of good estimates on bridge replacement projects right now that we can use for estimating purposes that have helped us to put that planning estimate together. But yeah, it's
Kelly always hates it when I throw out a number that, it's before they've actually designed anything. What I was really trying to get at is that this can't be done just on our own.
Right.
We have to have other funding sources to be able to successfully complete a project of this magnitude.
Right.
yeah.
And
So
are these, is East Lake and Keystone, are those local roads, county roads? Or are they, okay, so they are county roads.
those are county roads.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Are the bridge contractors behaving themselves?
All but that one.
Okay.
I think they
Yes.
know who not to select.
So yes, all but that one. But yeah, again, the goal of I wanted to also clarify one other thing on the off ramp, the bridge replacement there into East Lake Business. We're also evaluating whether or not we should add an on ramp from Tampa Road to northbound McMullen Booth. So that is part of that design effort, is to evaluate that alternative in that improvement. So as Barry mentioned, this is, being that it's well over $200 million in our preliminary planning estimate, we want to make sure that we do this in such a way that we are eligible for as much funding, whether it be local, state dollars or federal dollars. And so that's why we've moved it forward in the way we have. Whitney Road at Wolford, this project was bid, and those have been received. It is actually on your agenda for July 30th and includes the reconfiguration of the intersection. As you know, I know a number of you went out there to see this intersection when the discussion about the trees came up, and the creek there, Long Branch Creek, is really starting to impact the roadway and safety, and so we'll be shifting that roadway a bit. Realigning the box culvert under the intersection and installing new sidewalks. It also includes some additional drainage improvements, again, that are going to address some of those erosional issues. We recently redesigned this project to adjust the box culvert location to avoid the significant tree impacts, and this is funded by ARPA, Penny for Pinellas, and multimodal impact fees. So with the Pinellas Trail, the pedestrian bridge over the Lake Tarpon Outfall Canal is currently in construction. When that project is complete, it will be the finish line for the North Loop. We expect that to be done next summer, and it's funded through the Penny, ARPA, and some multimodal impact fees. On the South Loop, the section from 126th Avenue to Almerton is currently being advertised. Phase 2 goes from Almerton north to Haynes Bay Shore. That is in design. We're looking at late fiscal year 25 for construction. This one actually meanders right by the new proposed campus, so it creates some opportunities for employees as well as people coming to the property for services. And that currently is funded by Penny for Pinellas, and we also have a Department of Transportation Sun Trail Program grant. Our Safe Routes to School program is largely funded through ARPA. These include Basically, what we're looking to do is close sidewalk gaps and create safe routes from K through 8 schools, especially in the High Point, Ridgecrest, Lealman area. Oak Street, the Oak Street project on that list is complete. 58th Street will be completed this summer before school starts off again. And the remainder of those projects are on one construction contract that right now is expected to be on your July 30th agenda as well. This is funded through ARPA, and then there's a funding gap that we are proposing to be covered by Penny. With our ATMS program, we have 3 projects in the works. The North County Phase 2 project extends fiber and adds CCTV cameras and dynamic message signs on State Road 580 and State Road 586. Part of this project also includes CCTV cameras and dynamic message signs on Curlew Road at Alt 19 near the Dunedin Causeway, which can be used to alert motorists to backups on the causeway when Honeymoon Island is full. We also have the Alderman Road ATMS, which extends our fiber and creates a redundant fiber ring in the North County. That is in design, and the 113th Street ATMS will begin design this summer. And those are funded through the 9th cent gas tax, multimodal impact fees, and Department of Transportation grants. So from transportation, I'm going to jump over to the physical environment and start with the Taylor Lake seawall improvement. With this project, the seawall was actually failing and starting to allow water to seep under the road. So the seawall needed to be replaced. We added some drainage improvements and repaired the pedestrian bridge that crosses over the weir that allows water from the lake to discharge to the north. We added an 8-foot sidewalk on the south side of 8th Avenue Southwest, basically to connect into Taylor Park to create a better connection there. The project is currently scheduled to be done in November, but we are ahead of schedule and are looking at an August completion date. This is funded through the Penny. The Starkey Stormwater Facility, this actually
Just
is
a minute, Kelly.
Sorry, yes.
Commissioner Scott has a question on that one.
Thanks, Kelly. Just curious, that part of the lake there, which was drained, is really overgrown now. What's the plan when this is done? Is it going to be dredged out or just the water filled back in? Or it seems like it's, I don't know.
We actually started, so when they lowered the lake, it created an opportunity for us to get in there and do some vegetation management work, excavating around the shorelines to remove some of that material. During that process, we found a historical artifact and had to stop. So we were not able to fulfill that work. So what we're going to have to do is once the lake starts to refill, we're going to have to do some vegetation management. That may include hiring a harvester to go out there or incremental treatments to get it under control. But that's happened before when we have had to do that when we've lowered a lake. But yeah, there was an old building that was submerged, yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah. So. I'm just really proud that our long arm operator identified it, you know, because he's just out there, he's on a big piece of equipment, and he's like, wait a minute, that looks like something that I probably need to ask somebody to come take a look at.
I need to ask for permission on that one.
Yeah, so.
Okay. All right, thanks.
On the Starkey Stormwater Facility, this is actually an old mitigation site that was constructed in the 1990s for Starkey Road. During our master planning processes, watershed plan development, there's flooding in this area that needed to be resolved. And so basically, this project is enhancing this, creating more storage to alleviate flooding. It'll also improve water quality in this area as well. Also is a good return on investment to use an existing facility and make those improvements to maximize what we can get out of it versus building something new. The project will be on the July 30th agenda and is funded by Penny and ARPA. And in this category, our big project is the Joe's Creek Greenway and restoration. The actual creek work itself was identified in the Penny priority list for 2017. The preliminary engineering phase is nearly complete and will be starting design in the early part of 2025. It includes addressing a lot of the erosion and improvements to the creek itself. It includes connectivity and trails and other drainage improvements. This one is funded by a variety of sources, including a CDBG mitigation grant, a Southwest Florida Water Management District grant, Resilient Florida grant, as well as penny dollars. And we also have applied for a NOAA Climate Resilience Regional Challenge Grant, and we're expecting the results from that grant application later this summer. So that would allow us to address the box culvert under 34th, which is undersized and is contributing to flooding in the industrial park, as well as some other improvements to the Lillman Exchange.
Question real quick. Hey, Kelly?
Yes.
On all the ARPA-funded projects, or is that all, they're all finishing by the 2026? Is that?
Correct.
Wherever we see ARPA funding involved, those projects all have to be finished by?
We have to be through construction by the end of 2026, and we have to have them encumbered by December of this year, which is why every time I say July 30th, July 30th, July 30th, there are a lot of ARPA projects coming for your consideration.
So our voting on it encumbers the project.
Correct. Yep.
Commissioners, we've been tracking, obviously, the ARPA projects very carefully. That's one of the reasons, if you recall, over with Jeremy, we made a switch on a few projects because with anything that we couldn't complete by then, we switched it out for a different project. And so our capital project teams, Drew and his team, are monitoring that very, very carefully. And now we have, if I'm correct, we have no projects that are at risk. Or do we still have any in yellow? One. So we have one that we're watching. All the other projects they're solid that they can be completed by that date.
That's great. Thank you.
All right, Roosevelt Creek Channel 5. This is actually a long-standing project. It was in partnership with the Water Management District and the Tampa Bay Estuary Program. We finally were able to move forward with it. It's kind of between the Feather Sound community and the airport buffer area. We're going to be there's a large salinity weir at the end of that, and we're going to be modifying that to allow for better flood protection, but it also improve water quality and habitat in that area of Tampa Bay. It's been in the Comprehensive Conservation Management Plan for the Estuary Program for a number of years, and we're very happy to be able to finish this one, get it across the finish line with their financial assistance, as well as Penny and ARPA. In coastal management, I'm happy to report that the Grand Canal Navigational Dredging Project is done, and the funding source of that was ARPA. That sand was beneficially reused on Paso Girl Beach. A couple days ago, we received final authorization from the Army Corps of Engineers to proceed into the Paso Girl nourishment, and the contractor immediately started remobilizing his equipment, getting things in place, and they have a very aggressive schedule to get that restarted, and we've worked with Barbara and her team to get the communication plan in place, and that is moving. I believe the media announcement has already gone out, and there's already been an article in the Tampa Bay Times this morning. That one is funded by tourist development tax. We do have a partial state grant on that one. We had applied for funding when we thought this was a Army Corps project for, essentially, you take our 40% of it, and we ask for 20% from the state. With this now being a county project, a grant application will be on your July 30th agenda for consideration of asking for more money from DEP, from the state, to cover 50% of the project costs.
Not eligible then for Army, the federal?
Correct, yeah.
So how far are we on the erosion control line in Treasure Island that we had to reestablish?
The Florida Department of Environmental Protection has laid out the line that they believe is correct. The Army Corps has reviewed it because they need to make sure that it complies with the historic extent of fill. I know the city of Treasure Island is asking that the line not go as far north as it currently is proposed. So we're still working on that, but right now it really follows let me back up a minute. This Treasure Island Sunset Beach was nourished the first time, I believe, in like 68, 69. It predated the state's rules on erosion control lines. So back then, the state adopted a mean high water line or a bulkhead line. And that is what we have been using ever since, is this old historic line. The DP now wants to formalize an erosion control line out there. So basically what they're using is the historic line and staying fairly consistent with that, as well as kind of adjusting away from structures. Unfortunately, the historic line in some areas actually goes under houses, goes under swimming pools, and that just does not make sense. So those areas are being pulled back. But there is a line established. We have been requested to actually survey it in. So we're working with a contractor to get that portion of it done while continuing working with Treasure Island to figure out what DEP and the Army Corps are willing to adjust on that northern extent of the line. That will then have to go to a public hearing in Treasure Island, a public meeting down there. It will be held by the state, not the county. And then once the line is, that process is done and they formalize that, then it goes to the state for formal adoption.
And so we can't do beach renourishment until that whole process is done in Treasure Island?
I'm not sure how DEP will handle that as far as the permitting process, because really the ECL defines the boundary between private and public, and the work is being done waterward of that line. So we're going to continue on with the permitting and all of that. We're not stopping anything.
Right.
It's just kind of going in parallel.
I see you've got construction in 26. Sunset Beach, is it going to make it to 26?
You know, this is the conversation we had with everybody when we talked about the Dune project and encouraging folks to sign those temporary easements, because this was it. This was all we were going to be able to do until we got a project done. We put 26, but really what is driving that date is not the design, it's the permitting. So it's really dependent. I mean, if the Army Corps, I'm not worried about the state permit. We will have the state permit in hand well before we get anything from the Army Corps. It's really the Corps permitting process is going to drive when we can nourish that. Unfortunately, if an event occurs, then there are emergency options that we can visit. Hopefully that doesn't occur between now and then. We are also continuing to work on the federal process as well. That has never stopped. It may seem like it's quiet, but I can guarantee you it has never stopped. We're meeting, Matt and I were just talking, we're meeting at least once, if not twice a week.
Yeah, no, I know that. Thank you, Kelly. Any other questions? No?
And the Sankey, Treasure Island, and Upham that are in design and permitting are funded by the tourist development tax. Treasure Island and Upham have a partial state grant. Again, when we thought that project was going forward with the Army Corps, we had applied for a portion of that. So we, as this project moves along and we have a good cost estimate, we will be applying for additional funding through the state. Heading over into the parks program. Rainieri Park is obviously under construction. This is adding a very important community asset in Lilman. It includes a children's playground, adult fitness course, dog park, picnic pavilions, restrooms, open play fields, new parking, and trails. And this project is funded through the Penny for Pinellas American Rescue Plan Act, and we actually also have a state grant. In Dansville, this is another park project that was made possible because of the American Rescue Plan Act dollars contribution to this project. It's a 12-acre project in the Dansville area. The passive park includes a multi-purpose path, sidewalk, benches, picnic shelter, restrooms, parking area, and open space. This project was identified by the community as an important component of their community plan. The bids have been received, and this is on the July 30th agenda as well, and is funded through Penny for Pinellas and the ARPA. High Point Community Park is a partnership with the Pinellas County School District and the City of Largo. The park is on the former High Point Elementary School property and will serve students of High Point Elementary during school hours, and will be open to the residents of High Point community after school hours and on the weekends. The park includes multi-purpose athletic fields, basketball courts, lighting, playground, walking trail, picnic shelters, and restrooms. The bids have been received, and this is also on your July 30th agenda. This is a Penny for priority, funded through Penny and the American Rescue Act plan. The 119th Street gas mitigation and green space. So this is in Ridgecrest. It's a 37-acre property with a 5-acre stormwater pond at the northwest corner. The community identified this property as an opportunity for green space, for kids to play, just to have an open area where they can convene community activities. However, this site operated as a permitted Class 3 landfill from 1973 through 1981, which is a construction and demolition debris landfill. So the objective of this project is to install a methane gas mitigation system, which we have to do in order for it to be used as a green space, and we'll be doing site grading to level out the ground so that it actually can be used as green space in the future. And this is funded through ARPA as well as Penny for Pinellas. The Bay Point Stormwater Conservation Area, the county acquired the Bay Point property back in February of 2020. We did do a lot of cleanup out there so that it could continue to be used by the neighbors around the area while we proceeded into the design process. The site was designated as a brownfield, which provided the county as an opportunity to pursue state and federal resources and incentives to perform to address some of the soils issues that are very typical of an old golf course, and allows us to apply for funding for assessment and remediation. The project is at 60% design, and the design is largely focused around passive recreation with stormwater management. And this project, we utilized ARPA funding for the design. The construction is funded in the Penny for Pinellas.
I just want to give kudos again to your staff on that one, because the residents that wanted us to buy this so bad got really upset, and your staff really came around and came up with a compromise that was great. So again, I know I said something before, but I just wanted to say it again. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I'm not going to go through this list, but this is just a sample of other Penny for priority projects that are in process in various stages. In total, Public Works has 127 projects underway, and I really want to thank our entire team. Our Capital Improvements Division leads the project management process, but delivering these projects is founded in a very strong asset management program, which the board and the county administrator have embraced, and bringing CityWorks into as part of our program. But this requires planning, survey, environmental work, budget work, contracting, purchase, construction oversight, et cetera. And that is a lot of people doing a lot of things right. And so I just wanted to take a moment to thank everyone who contributes to the delivery of these projects.
Right, Commissioner Scott has a
Thanks, Madam Chair. Where is, or is sidewalk extensions on Indian Rocks Road anywhere in the?
Do I have that one up here? Yes, Mona, come on up here. I know Indian Rocks we've got that one, I think that's ready to go, or close to.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Mona Gabriel, Capital Improvements Division Director, Public Works.
I'm sure.
Sorry. Indian Rock Sidewalk project is in its final stages of design, and it will be moving to advertisement and construction soon. So we're anticipating it to go to construction in the next 6 months or so.
Really? Great. Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Flowers.
Thank you. Thank you, Kelly, for, I'm sorry, it's about as loud as I'm gonna get. Thank you for the information. Going back to the ITS ATMS project, whenever we're extending fiber or doing anything that may involve the potential for other utilities to partner, like cable companies and things like that, do we connect with them to see if they're interested in extending any of their utility services for, or any upgrades or anything when we're doing our utility work?
We are limited by law as to what our fiber can be used for. Where we do have opportunity is for public uses. So, for example, we're working, it's not in this presentation, but we have a fiber extension project running from, we have fiber, but we're closing some gaps that go from Walsingham to the sheriff to the jail. And so we will be then connecting those public facilities to our facilities. We also, so that goes for, yes, we do coordinate with cities where there's an opportunity where they want the connection, and any other public purpose. But otherwise, our fiber has to be used for transportation.
Commissioner Eggers.
Kelly, thank you. First of all, I wanted to echo your comments about your staff. I can't imagine. I'd like to see that list and that Gantt chart or whatever you have that tracks all of this stuff, because it's just got to be mind-boggling. Really appreciate the professionalism of your group and your leadership. So on the agenda for this coming week, I saw, or next Tuesday, I saw a place where a road paver project was being extended because no other road paver projects were companies were available to do the work. They're too busy. So as we approach this ARPA funding deadline, are we starting to see issues with contractor access? Because there's a lot of people that are heading down towards this funnel of 2026. And what are we seeing as far as costs go? I fear for inflation. I fear for being able to get work done. But just your comments on that.
You know, the recent bids, like I said, your July 30th agenda is going to be very full. And I will say projects like the parks projects, we actually got a number of bids, you know, the 3, 4 bids. So that was good. On a lot of these projects, we only got one bidder. So, you know, the question is that where we're going to be, is where we're landing with one bidder. However, the projects so far that have come in, even with one bidder, have been within our engineer's estimate. We do use a lot of data, including our bids, DOT's bids, ENR reports and stuff. We have a good process. We've started doing on some of our more complicated projects that require, especially dealing with contaminated soils or some, you know, less standard construction practices. We've added in constructability reviews so that we can catch things that might trip us up in an estimate. So in that aspect, I think we're doing a really good job, and I think we continue to get better. But time will tell. Yeah, all these, I mean, so far, everything coming to you on the 30th, we've got really good bids, and we feel comfortable with them. But we've got a lot more going out on the street. That particular, adding additional money to that Hubbard contract, we have 3 primary paving companies, and this was kind of a conversation. It's really about our work plan, right? So we've got roads identified in the fiscal year 24 that we needed done, and looking at the production, we had an issue where we weren't going to, one contractor wasn't going to be able to complete the 24 production, and another contractor had capability. So we're taking those projects, giving it to the contractor who can. You know, the reason why we're doing that is, you know, because each year we're adding a lot of resurfacing. So if that 24 work doesn't get done, then it bleeds over into 25, and then 25 bleeds over into 26. So we're trying to make sure that we're flexible enough that we can complete our what we've got programmed for that fiscal year, and be ready for the next fiscal year.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions for Kelly? Great job. Your team is amazing. You're doing a great job.
Thank you very much. Have a good morning.
Okay. And then we're going to do septic to sewer. I assume that's Jeremy?
Commissioners, we want, prior to going into some of your budget hearings, we really wanted to show you where your money that you've set aside for infrastructure is going. Because there's a lot going on, as you can see. And so you'll see that in a couple of different presentations. But this is kind of this, a quick update on where we put a lot of effort over the last, couple of years. So again, Jeremy will kind of wind that down. And you'll see that more in the presentation Tuesday as part of the budget presentation to kick off, your review of the budget coming up later this summer.
Good morning, Jeremy Wall, Director of Utilities. I have two presentations here, and they're both related to sewer. The first one is our septic to sewer program. So just a really quick recap, and I'm not going to read all this, but we have overall county goals to remove or help citizens come off of septic systems and join into the public systems. It's better for our environment. We work with our public works environmental partners and our utility partners, both within the cities and within our utilities, to migrate people from these private systems, many of which are very old. We have in the current DEP records are 9,000 plus or minus septic systems currently in their records, but some of those may have been abandoned and the records haven't been updated. We don't track those. We have been tracking the septic tanks that we know that are within our area. So if you see the green areas on this map, that's PCU's, Public Pinellas County Utilities Service Areas. And the blue dots there kind of represent the density of the septic tanks that are within our service areas that we would be able to accommodate. Another thing to point out here is in the third bullet point, Pinellas County Utilities does not permit septic tanks. That goes through the health department as delegated from FDEP. So I just want to make that clear that we help people get off septic tanks, but we're not involved in septic tanks. We're not involved in cleaning and fixing and permitting those. So if you recall, last winter, I think it was December or January, I came to you guys with a proposal for a change in our current ordinances. So the current ordinance as it exists today requires users that are on a septic system that have a public sewer in front of their house within 100 feet of their house property line, that they must connect to the county or the public system. And we've proposed that in order to assist some of those people, because those costs can be pretty high for a single homeowner, that when a resident is attempting or proposing to abandon their septic system, that the county utility will be able to build a lateral up to the property line, and they could build from their house to the property line, and we would meet them at the property line. That ordinance, as we proposed it, is drafted. You'll be seeing it for your review probably within the next couple of weeks. It's going through our final review and legal processes. So I just wanted to give you an update that is coming forward, because I promised it last winter, and it took a while to get it drafted, but it is ready.
Madam Chair, one quick question.
Sir.
Sorry about this. So I heard you say a couple of things. I just want to make sure I'm clear. You said something about helping them get off the system, off their septic tanks. And then I heard you saying here, they must get off their septic tank. So if it's within 100 feet, if there's a line within 100 feet of their house, so which is it?
The current ordinance requires anyone who is on a septic system with a public sewer within 100 feet of their property line to connect. It is not widely enforced and is regulated usually through the FDEP, so we're not going out and knocking on doors. But when people say, hey, we want to get off our septic tank, we say, well, if there's a sewer line, it's on you, it's your cost. And what the proposal here in this ordinance change is that we want to, our goal is to get people off the septic tank, so we'll meet them in the middle and build the lateral line to the property line.
Okay, so so it is FDEP that's not doing the enforcement on that side.
Correct.
We're giving them latitudes to do it and opportunities now to perhaps encourage them to do it.
And the DEP has lots of grant programs and money to help private citizens. So whenever we get the call, we facilitate that conversation to get them the money to do it themselves.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Commissioner Scott.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And a little more background on this. I see that the visual here has a road, because, you know, Jeremy and I had talked, I don't know, several months ago. Sometimes when somebody wants to get off sewer, if that 100 feet sometimes has to go underneath the road, which is extremely, it's cost prohibitive for somebody to consider that. So there was a project with a resident that I, worked with 6 or 7 months ago that ultimately ended up abandoning that project because it was just cost prohibitive for them to tear up the road and then replace the road to get to that 100-foot line. So that's part of the reason why this is coming up. So thank you for all your work on this.
And your ordinance was probably written thinking, a property owner, and they have a big front yard, right? And not contemplating going across a road and the cost associated, which, to your point, just makes it cost prohibitive. So I think it was a great, way of kind of finding a compromise to work with private property owners.
Oh, the picture disappeared. I don't know what happened. But we also have a CIP project that's currently underway. It was a great picture with a map that shows all the project locations. But we have a CIP project going on right now in the Tarpon Springs area. It's off Keystone Road. We've identified 3 neighborhoods, approximately 201 residents. They're currently on a septic system. We received grant funding from DEP and from ARPA to go and pursue building a public system out to these residents. And that would include both the public roadway infrastructure and connecting their private systems to the public system. So it was a win-win for the residents. If they wanted to get off septic, it was completely paid for, and we would have infrastructure out there in the future to supply these residents in the Tarpon Springs area. Last spring, the design of the project hit some delays in property acquisition and some other survey and design technicalities. And because of that timing delay, we agreed that we were going to move the ARPA funds out of that project and into the mobile home communities project, which we're going to talk about in the next presentation. But I do want to say that the FDEP grant still exists. We used $2.5 million of the ARPA funds to fund the design. So we have, as of October 1st, we will have shovel-ready projects, fully designed, fully permitted, fully engineered. We just need some additional funding to match the DEP grant, which is sitting out there. We have $10 million ready to match. So we're actively searching for those dollars. We want to find the dollars. We want to pursue these projects with these communities. Just to give a heads up on where that project is at in terms of communication. So we've been actively communicating with all these residents for the last 18 months. We've been in their yards, in their right-of-way with survey crews and engineers doing surveys and soil borings and all kinds of engineering. We've had some public-facing websites created. We update that frequently. And in June, we sent out a letter to the residents notifying them of the funding change and the impacts that would have into the timing of the project, so letting them know we want to pursue this. We don't have the dollars today, but as soon as we get the dollars, we're going to be back and get these projects done with you.
Any additional questions for Chairman?
Just one quick one.
Commissioner Eggers.
So this 32 million estimate, we have 10 million in grant funding. What do you have in your budget for this project?
We are not using enterprise funds to construct this. So the enterprise funds are for the existing utility ratepayers. And so we are not extending new infrastructure to new ratepayers. So this subject to
Pinellas County doesn't have any skin in the game yet as far as this project goes?
Pinellas County Utilities does not have any
Utilities,
funds.
but has there any money been identified anywhere for this project?
Not from Pinellas County.
Okay. So
This was one of the projects where we just determined we wouldn't be able to meet the ARPA deadlines. And so, for that.
that's only 2.5 million.
No.
Oh, no, we had.
It was 7.2 million that we moved out. So we were able to use some of the ARPA for the engineering,
Okay.
but the construction dollars, we were not going to be able to get a contractor bid and awarded by the end of this year. So we moved the construction dollars to a different project.
So no penny money in this at all?
No.
Seems like they're you need to have some skin in the game somewhere, so. I mean, especially if you're going out looking for these grants, I would think that would be an important piece to it. And if we say it's important, then seems like that's what we need to be considering, so.
We don't, Commissioner, we don't disagree. We need to look, and I think this is kind of a new one where we had to pull back. So they're looking at other funding sources, and I think that's something we may need to revisit and how we do these septic. You know, right now it's an individual property owner. If your private septic system fails, you have to replace it. And so when you replace it, that's probably $20, $30, $40,000. It's a lot of money. The problem you have in any one of these neighborhoods, you will have someone that has a failed system, and you'll have somebody that just replaced their system 2 years ago. And so it becomes very difficult to sell the community on putting that investment in because everybody's in a different spot, and that's the difficulty. So, we do have to address this if we're going to make a dent in these communities that have these septic systems. But we got to figure out how to fund it. Well, but they won't. If we put down the main line now, they're within that 100 feet, and so, you got to get a commitment to make the investment. But we got to find some grant dollars or some way of helping offset that cost, because it'll be the person that has a failed septic system and they're facing a $30,000 bill probably won't complain. The person that replaced it 2 years ago is going to complain. So, and you understand that. Yeah. So that's the reason it's difficult. We got to figure out how to do it.
And that's a long run too, from some of these houses to the street. Mm-hmm. So
it is.
When they look at that as a trade-off with their replacing a septic tank, that becomes pretty tight look.
And the other, from an enterprise standpoint, I don't have my calculator here in front of me. Surprising for an engineer not to have a calculator, but at $30 million, 200 residents, it's a significant cost per unit, and then we have to evaluate where could we spend that per unit cost other places in the system. So you'll see in the second presentation why we moved the ARPA dollars to a different project, because we have immediate impact that would help more benefit to our system.
I get it. Yeah. Thank you.
It's a hard conversation. I agree.
Commissioner Flowers?
Thank you. Any new construction that occurs out there, are they required to automatically connect? New home development, because that's going up.
If they're currently on a septic system, they can remain on a septic system and permit that through the health department and DEP, and we're not involved, so we don't know. We highly encourage them to connect to the public system.
New home development, new home development, are they required to connect to our system?
If we have the infrastructure in front of their property, yes.
Okay. And I guess that's an additional concern, because if we don't have the infrastructure in front of their property, they're gonna do septic, which now puts us back where we don't wanna be, which is more people added to the.
And I should qualify too. You may also build a private sewer system for yourself with your own pump station and then pump to us. That is also allowable under the rules. So, but they have to meet our standards. Very. Yeah.
Commissioner Scott?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I realize we haven't identified any local dollars for this, but this would be penny eligible? This type of project would be penny eligible? Okay.
Sorry, yes, you could use penny for it to be construction, but obviously penny's overspent right now, so.
Right, okay.
Thank you. I guess we're going to move on to inflow and infiltration.
Oh yeah, so one of my favorite topics. So we commonly use the words I and I, so you'll hear me say that throughout the presentation several times as shorthand. So it's inflow and infiltration. And essentially what this means is the water that is stormwater, right? Groundwater, rain, water in the streets that gets into our sanitary collection system. And our sanitary collection system is not intended to collect that water. So it overcharges our system, it causes spills, there's more water in the pipe than we can handle, there's more water coming to the sewer plants than we can handle, and it causes our sanitary sewer overflows, SSOs. You'll see that throughout presentations from me. And you'll see here on the left side of the screen, a map of some of our hotspots where we have repeated and repetitive SSOs. So there are really two key drivers driving our I&I reduction program. The first one are these recurring hotspots. So we do incur fines from DEP, as does every other utility in the state. When we have SSOs, we have to report those SSOs. I think 2 days ago, we reported an SSO of 5 gallons. So 5 gallons of sewage spilled onto the street because a worker turned the thing wrong and then fixed it immediately, but 5 gallons went on the street. We reported that to DEP. So we were very serious about notifying both the agencies and the public, and this is all public record, and we send out these notices. So it's a serious business to us to get rid of these SSOs in Pinellas County. The second key driver to this initiative is our South Cross Bayou Reclamation Facility is currently on a consent order from the DEP because of the SSOs in the basin. So all of the South County basin, if you remember my map that had the green shading in South County, that all goes to South Cross. And currently DEP requires additional actions for us to prove we are reducing SSOs as part of that consent order. So we're doing 5 major initiatives to reduce SSOs in Pinellas County. Again, you see kind of the North County Basin and the South County Basin are our service districts. The first 3 initiatives are countywide. They apply to everybody in Pinellas County. And the second 2 are really focused on the South County where the majority of our SSO problem exists. The first one, I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, but we do daily activities. We have 4 crews that are dedicated specifically for going out and cleaning our sewer lines, finding the blockages, removing the blockages before they can create a problem. They're also finding the cracks in the pipes, and we're getting those pipes fixed so the groundwater is not seeping into the pipes and the manholes. So you'll see our trucks out there on the side of the road, and every other city has these trucks with the big hoses stuck in the manhole. That's what they're doing. They're cleaning out the sewer pipes. The second program we have is a private sewer system inspection program. So last year, we started off, you guys approved a private sewer inspection ordinance where we require all the private systems in Pinellas County, so think apartment buildings, shopping centers, mobile home parks, condos, et cetera, that have their own sewer collection system, they now have to permit those through us, and we make sure that they're not contributing to our problem. So even if their system is bad, that water eventually gets to us. And so it's our issue at the end, so we're helping them fix it at the source and not all the way down at the end. And what we found here, and since we've started this in 2022, we've already permitted 160 individual private systems. You see the yellow lines on the map above is an example of a mobile home community where we actually went and mapped their manholes and pipes for them. So now we know where the manholes are. As you might expect, most residents don't think about sewer, they don't care about sewer, they just see a manhole in the road, whatever. It's really important to us, so now we know where they're at, we know where the inspection should go, and we've been mapping and cataloging these different systems. We expect to be fully through all the private systems by 2026. It's a pretty tremendous lift that we're doing, but we're getting through it. Some successes that we've found already, just in the ones that we're able to inspect officially. So this is an example of a pump station. This is a private pump station. There's actually 2 of them here. And you can see that there's just an open grate on the top. So when it rains and that grass fills up with water, all of that storm water goes into our sewer system. And it doesn't really show here, but typically the pump stations are at the low end of the site, so this is where the water would pond. So, right, the really easy fix, you just put a metal cover on that that's solid instead of a grate, and you've eliminated the inflow into our system. So again, a private system has no idea, they just live here. And go to the HOA and say, hey, you put a metal grate here, you'll solve your problem. And they, okay, that's an easy fix, we'll fix that. Some other successes that we found is we've corrected 10 sources of I&I, 2 here shown as examples. Here's an example of the pavement. So on the left side, you can see the circle next to the manhole. That's actually a depression in the roadway that is caused by a sewer break underneath. So again, the residents probably have no idea why there's a pothole that they keep fixing. Well, it's because your sewer is broken beneath the street. We're able to identify that for them. We're able to get the sewer, and it fixes their pothole. You can see the green picture, the one that's really blowing up right there where that blade of grass is. That's actually a gap where you can see down into the manhole. So You're not supposed to be able to see down in the manhole when the cover is on. So every time it rains, rainwater getting directly into our sewer system. So we go and work with the HOAs and we get that fixed. Another good example, this is a mobile home park that's next to the bayou. A sewer manhole, so this is where the sewer goes. You can see a seawall and a pipe coming out of the seawall. So when we get high tides, king tides, the Gulf of Mexico is draining into my sewer system and getting to my treatment plant, and I'm treating the Gulf of Mexico water. Conversely, when their sewer backs up, that sewage goes directly into the Gulf. So we're not supposed to have cross connections like this. It's illegal. It's regulated by the state. So we just go in, we help them identify this. Again, the residents probably have no idea. They just live there, right? And we go in and cap it up, mud it up, put some concrete in there, and eliminate these kind of cross connections. So the program is finding these successes. It's doing the intent of helping eliminate I&I from these private systems. Another one of the larger initiatives we have going on is our private sewer lateral rebate. So this is for homeowners who own the section of pipe from the street or the right-of-way to their house. We call that the lateral line. We've initiated a program where we're requiring inspection of those lateral lines and helping eliminate, the small leaks that are coming, but think of thousands of houses with small leaks ends up being a big impact to our system. We require when building permits go through, so someone's doing an impact or an improvement to their house, that they go do and inspect their laterals. So far, this is through May, through May, 393 building permits have come in that have required inspections. We also have a rebate program, so we'll pay for half of the repair and half of the inspection. And we've had 223 rebates issued so far, and then through May this year, we've issued $39,000 in rebates back to the citizens. Currently, in May, there were 68 properties that had been inspected, and we found problems that we need to fix. Sorry. Sure.
That you were talking about.
Previous to this.
Yes, previous to that. And you said that interconnections are not allowed like that?
Correct.
So I just want to make sure I'm clear. So these aren't allowed, but if you find a location where the intercoastal and a street is connected with a drain line, that we put flapper valves in to control the movement of, that's legal versus this kind of thing, which has no control mechanism, is not legal, or?
You are not allowed to mix any kind of stormwater or surface water with sanitary sewer water. There is not allowed, and it's a separate.
Sanitary sewer, got it.
Right, so
not just stormwater.
Stormwater has separate rules and it's regulated
Gotcha.
through.
Okay, just that was where thank you.
So some successes we found here. I mentioned, there were 68 properties that were out of compliance as of May. To date, that we've been doing this for 2 years, we have not issued a single citation or fine, so we've been able to work with every single one of the residents that we found. So even the 68 that are out of compliance, we're confident we're going to work to a solution to get the laterals fixed. There's a picture of a lateral, a real picture. This is really someone's house, and they have that kind of roots growing it. You don't know that because your water will still go through your house until it doesn't. And then you open up the hole, and that's what you find. You're like, whoa, my gosh, I can't believe that's been working like that for 10 years. Well, it has. And this is common, unfortunately. Where we live, a lot of clay pipes and metal pipes were used in our laterals, and these roots get right through them. As another success for us, we limited the rebate maximum to $3,500 in the ordinance. To date, through all of the repairs and rebates that we've given, the average cost of the repair is about $7,000, and so our intent to meet them in the middle at $3,500 is right on par with what the average cost has been. And so far, we've had 52 contractors, so plumbers out there, working with these individual homeowners, so it is a well-used program. It's well-known throughout the area. And generally, 50% of the laterals that we see inspections on have problems. The fourth initiative to talk about here is our mobile home collection systems. So along with our private systems, we identified 14 very specific high contributors that are private systems within mobile home communities. There's more than that, but these are 14 of the highest contributors in our South County Basin. Like I mentioned, in our South Cross Basin, we want to limit the amount of inflow and infiltration coming as part of the consent order, so we're really focusing these type of efforts here. So we've been working with these 14 communities for the last 18 months and built a program that's grant funded to come in and replace their private system with a public county system. And we've identified this, so it's one project, we call it Mobile Home Collection Systems. There are actually 14 individual CIP projects that are born out of this. You see here on my date of June 20th, the bids will be back. To update you on that, we do have all the bids back from all 3 of the projects. We have 8 communities, 7 for sure, probably 8 of these communities that we're going to be able to fund for construction to rebuild their sewer systems and eliminate their I&Is that will come to our sewer plant. So this is a success for us. We haven't built it yet, and I think this is probably the yellow project that's still at risk from Chris over there. He's nodding. But we have all the bids in. We're working on awarding the contracts to the contractor now. We're going through that award process. You'll see that very soon as a decision point to award these CIP contracts.
Jeremy, does any local match at all required for this, or is this all grant funding?
This is all grant funded through DEP and ARPA funds.
Great. And
So the $7.2 million that we removed from the septic to sewer fund is funding these additional parks,
got it.
which have direct impact to our SSO and I&I problem, where the septic is more we want to do an environmental
Remind me again what SSO stands for?
sanitary sewer overflow.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
I know I'm a jargon guy. I'm sorry. You gotta. So these projects are moving forward. We have a lot of great conversations with the community, so they've been actively involved this whole process. We'll get it off the yellow risk list in a month, I promise, and it will all be green. The last project to talk with you about is our sanitary sewer find and fix program. So, sorry for all the colors here on the map to the right, but the red colors indicate other, we'll call them neighborhoods, but zones that are high contributors to I&I. So we've done lots of studies and we've put meters in our sewer system. We figure out where the water is coming from when it rains. And these red areas we identified as not specific communities like a mobile home community or apartment complex, but whole regions or neighborhood types of areas. So we developed a project and funded a project called Find and Fix. We're doing this as a design build project where we've hired an engineering company and a contractor together. And the purpose of that project is to go out into these zones, these red areas, find where it's coming from and fix it. So if it's on the private side, then we'll work with the homeowner and we'll fix it. If it's on the public side, then let's get it fixed today. If it requires other improvements, more force mains, more pipes, because it's a design build project, they could just do all that together. So instead of doing individualized studies and then coming up with 16 or 17 or 20 CIP projects, we're doing this as a very focused effort, design build in these specific areas. We have negotiated that package with the design build firm that was selected. We have just awarding them the first phase of the design, so they're going to go out and start in the investigations. Actually, they've already started, I think, and putting meters in the ground and getting what I'll call a baseline. Another part of this project is we are going to measure before they do the work and then measure after they do the work and verify probably by gallons reduced of I&I. So I'll be able to come back with, hey, to reduce 75,000 gallons of I&I, it costs blank number of dollars. You can get a per gallon cost, and now if we know our total I&I problem over the next 10 years, we can assign dollars amount to what that means, so we understand really the scope of the problem.
Commissioner Agris has a question.
Yeah, just so on this, when you find these problems, you said, I think I heard you say on private property, we work with the homeowner and we pay for it?
Under this program in those specific areas, work on private property will be authorized with the homeowner's consent. So we'll have to get construction easements, we'll have to get right of access easements. They'll have to want to do the improvement. The way the codes are worded under the other private lateral ordinances, if there's a problem, you're responsible to fix it anyway. So we'll be there to help you fix it in those specific areas.
We'll do the repair on these, on this fix and find
Yes.
with their permission, and we'll pay for that work.
Correct.
The justification being that it's helping the overall system, which helps the overall users.
It's a net benefit to our system, and it reduces our plant operation costs, and it helps us fall within the regulatory requirements.
Just trying to listen to where we use public funds on private property and what the justification is. So, appreciate it. Thank you.
So I have a question as well. I know we do the laterals, we give people up to $3,500. What if somebody slip lines if they want to slip line their house because they have clay pipes and they know they're gonna, it was built in the 70s or 60s, and is there a program for that or no?
So a preemptive repair, so there's not a problem and they want to just prevent a problem from ever occurring, there is not currently a program for that.
Okay.
If they did an inspection and found a leak, a break, a root or something, and slip line was the correct solution, the rebate would still apply to that.
Okay, because I know slip lining, and my neighbor just did it, and it was not cheap, very
It
expensive.
is not cheap.
Okay. Thanks. Any other questions? Commissioner Justice.
Thank you. And I don't know if you have this data right in front of you, but I remember after 2015 when St. Pete had all their major issues, there were numbers thrown around as far as, and I was just curious, and if you don't have it, if you could get it for us, the typical gallons treated in a normal day at like South Cross, if you're doing 30,000 gallons, and then on a rain event, you're doing 45,000 gallons, that kind of tells us our I&I. So if you could provide the kind of what the average is and then kind of the high water mark, I'd love to have those numbers.
Yeah, I can get those for you.
Thank you.
And they're different between North County and South County, but we absolutely have those.
Commissioner Scott?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I guess a follow-up to Commissioner Justice's comments. How do you define success? When we get to the end of the line of this, what does success look like to you?
So success is ultimately reduction in our inflow and infiltration. So I need less stormwater and rainwater getting into the sewer system. So that's why we're doing these baseline measurements. To Commissioner Justice's point, we do monitor the amount of flows coming in the plant, and we need to be under our plant capacity.
Okay. So you have an understanding of what those metrics are and what those gallons look like, and
Yes.
okay. Great.
Yeah, it's a big challenge. We had a business in our city that his parking lot would flood, so he decided to drill a drain to our sewer system. And when we caught him, told him, slapped his wrist and said, no, you got to close it up. 3 months later, he opened it up again. And so we finally had to fill it in with concrete. But when you have businesses that do that, it's really hard to find it. And it's not uncommon for businesses to do that kind of stuff. So it's a never-ending challenge. I get it. But thanks for all the hard work.
Yep.
Any other questions or comments? No, you are free to go.
Thank you.
So next, we're going to move on to the agenda briefing.
Okay. So we have several presentations and employee recognition awards. Going on to public hearings. First public hearing is a petition. This is a continuation from May 7th, where they're looking for a vacation, and this is a modification, so they modified the request to a 15-foot portion of an unimproved, right-of-way, and that still leaves public accessibility for the adjacent community. Item 6 is an amendment to a resolution realigning reserves and recognizing unanticipated revenue, most notably the sheriff's family reunification, and then a few small items, one for the Dolly and for the public defender. Next item number 21 is award of bid to Nichols Contracting. This is for the jail elevator modernization program at the central intake building, $1.9 million.
Just a quick question. On 11, 12, and 13, and looking at the Inspector General reports on those three departments, there seem to be some recommendations that are only partially being done, and on review, they're still only partially being done. It looked like one of them had upcoming software that was going to, they wanted to delay doing the change or the upgrade until they did the software. But if you could just maybe have each of those folks just let us know what's going on there. I think one.
We'll do it on Tuesday, Joe.
Yeah.
I'll take a look at those. I remember seeing them some time back, but
Yeah, it's been a-
forgot them over vacation. So let me take a look
All
at
right.
those, and we can address
Appreciate it. Thank
your
you.
concerns on Tuesday.
Thank you.
Okay. Item 22 is project agreement with City of St. Petersburg. This is again a relocate, utilities relocation, $493,000. Same thing on item 23 with St. Petersburg relocating 6-inch pipe as part of a construction project, $1.2 million. Item 24 is ranking of firms with ADT Commercial. This is for our security card badge access and closed-circuit TV systems, maintenance, installation, repair, $1.3 million. Item 25 is an MSTU for Feather Sound. This is for pickleball court improvements. Item 26, it's a local government verification of for housing credit financing application for Grand Oak Apartments. This requires a local match, which come out of our SHIP dollars, $610,000. This is for 9% low-income housing tax credits.
Barry? Is
Yes.
that, where's that money coming from? The 610,000?
That's out of SHIP dollars. Yeah, so that's our what's SHIP stand for?
Yeah, okay.
I'm sure somebody would be able to answer that. Yes. Item 27 is the First Amendment to our homeless emergency project. It's our homeless empowerment program for emergency shelter and case management. This actually is an amendment to increase services for emergency shelter beds. This is proposed in the fiscal year 25 budget. However, we needed to modify this. They've written it so if it ultimately is not approved by you, then that portion would go away.
What's the time frame on the additional 10 beds, do we know? And did we anticipate expanding this program when it was passed in '24?
I'm going to let Lourdes address that.
Okay.
Lourdes Benedict, Assistant County Administrator. So we had sent you all a memo, just as a reminder, back in February that there was a problem with, we had 90 families at the time that are homeless. So we had some funding from the street outreach and got with HEP, got with you all to make sure it was okay. We start those conversations. So they're rolling that now, once this gets approved. So they've done the work to get it ready.
And this, and I got to give, our human services folks a lot of credit because they looked at a program and said, we're not getting the bang for our buck, and we can spend those dollars better in this manner. And so it's a shifting of resources. And so that's how they come up with the funding amount in that program. They're eliminating the street outreach and putting it into these additional capacity.
And our COC partners say this is a priority, and we agree. So we moved the money. I know you're on that board.
Question, Lourdes, so that, if we don't approve the additional 10 beds, the 13 beds will go on for the next,
Yes,
for the remaining time?
yes. So this will essentially double that,
Yeah, go from
23.
13 to 23. Okay, the cost per bed seems to be about the same. They're close, a little bit more. Yeah, it's a great program, seems to work really well. I mean, from a personal standpoint, it really has helped my brother get rectified. He's now in permanent housing in the vet dorm over there, so the whole program works really well. I'd like to see that. I know they had a young man that was part of the HEP program, Zach White, who passed away recently suddenly. Member of our Veterans Engagement Board. He was a member of HEP.
Amazing individual, yes.
Yeah, and my brother, I was asking my brother about it, and he said, well, all he knew is that when he has an emotional support dog, and when he had to put the dog down, he couldn't afford it. And Zach stepped up and paid it personally for him just to make it happen. So really special guy. A lot of them over there at HEP are really good people that do good work for residents. But anyway, just kind of a personal comment. Thank you.
And this, just to be clear, is for families, this extra portion.
Thanks.
Item number 28 is our funding recommendations for the 2025 Human Services Social Action Grant Program. As you can see, we had 55 applications totaling $5.2 million, so very competitive. They have their awards, 20 projects, 3 alternates, totaling $1.7 million of available funding. Item 29 is change order number 1. This is what Kelly addressed earlier with Hubbard Construction for the pavement preservation program. Item 30 is change order number 1, Keystone Excavators for the Mullet Creek Channel. This increases the contract by $308,000 for a total of 3.3. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, 3.6 total, yeah. Item 31 is an amended and restated agreement. It's a continuing our Frontier Communications for Ethernet services. So it's just a 3-year expansion on that contract.
Under item number 32, this is a request to ratify a litigation that was taken forward with approval from the chair. This was an emergency action related to some animals and cruelty allegations. Under item number 33, I have sent around a folder with the confidential settlement item in it for each of you to review. To the extent you have questions related to that settlement, I encourage you to give me a call sometime prior to Tuesday. And under item number 34, this is a resolution that will place the 7 charter amendment questions that were recommended by the Charter Review Commission on the ballot in November. They are all set forth there. I will tell you, I have had, this has come up before, I think when we talked about the school board referendum, and also with this one. I will answer the question now before it's asked. Your charter states that the county commission shall place the questions on the ballot in November. I did actually find some case law, not from our district, but from a different part of the state, where a county commission balked and the court told them they had no choice but to put those questions on the ballot. That occurred in Brevard County, just for your reference. Under reports, I don't anticipate any reports on Tuesday, but I will let you know today. On Sunday, I think I don't see Kelly back there anymore, but I was able to persuade Kelly to join me on Sunday at the National Association of Counties Conference. Ginger Delagal, who many of you know, is with FAC here in Florida, reached out to me a couple of months ago. The county attorney, it's called something different at the national level, but basically the county attorney group is meeting on Sunday. And they reached out to me as a local county attorney to see if we would come and speak on a topic of interest. And so we are going to tell them about beach nourishment, recognizing that this is not just a Florida problem and even potentially not just a beach problem. We're all dealing with a lot of the federal agencies and seeing changes. So I've heard remarks quite a few times about it being on Sunday, but nonetheless, Kelly has been a very willing participant. So we're going to go and spend a little time with that group on Sunday.
And we have a little thing called the 2025 budget. And so we'll have a presentation for you on Tuesday. That'll outline the recommendations that follows the guidance that you provided earlier in the year. And so we'll outline that, and that'll really kick off the process for your budget hearings and meetings over the next several months to finalize the budget here in September. Then you have a series of appointments.
Anyone have any other, Commissioner Justice?
Just a quick question on process. And I just couldn't remember if we've changed this, but at one point, I thought we required the Big C and the Mayor's Council to submit multiple names, and then we would make the appointment.
Yes.
Is that still the case, or did we change that?
We put in a request, and I believe, Ashley, they only sent one name. Yeah. One interested mayor who met criteria.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, comments, updates? So I do have a couple things. So the Area on Aging appointment, Commissioner Justice was actually termed out. They put term limits on their board. And so we need to appoint somebody, and you see that as number 37. We have 3 commissioners that don't have a conflict based on the meetings of that board. The 3 that do not have a conflict is Flowers, Letville, and Long. The board meets at Gandy and 9th, the 3rd Monday monthly except for July and December, and the 2nd Monday in January and February. And so if one of you want to volunteer, I know Commissioner Letville has more committees than anybody else. Would you be interested? Commissioner Long, would you be interested? No? Okay. So then on Tuesday, we'd vote for Commissioner Flowers, if that would be okay with you?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay. Okay, so, so that, just kind of wanted to go over that for Tuesday.
I was just mentioning that since he's the oldest.
Okay, so Jewel brought to my attention, and this was my error, that the chair must be the chair of the canvassing board, not the alternate. So to remedy that, we're going to have to also, you see that there'll be a vote on that one, I think, on there. We'll have to have a vote to change that, so it'll flip it, and that was my error, my mistake. I'm truly sorry for the confusion on that.
What was that on? I'm sorry.
On the chair must be on the canvas, it must be the chair of the canvassing board, not the alternate. So we have to switch that to make sure that we're doing it according to our rules. So we're going to switch that.
And if I could interject just one thing.
Just inject just one thing.
It's a member of the canvassing board. The chair of the canvassing board is actually the judge that's appointed, but
Right.
the statute reads that the chair of the Board of County Commissioners shall be a member of the canvassing board, and if the chair cannot serve, then you go through another process to select a different county commissioner, ideally. But there is a statutory requirement that there be a designated alternate. So I think the proposal is to flip Commissioner Long and Commissioner Peters into the roles, recognizing that many of you that have served previously during one of these big general election years, they're both going to be out there quite a bit. And just for the benefit of all of you, given the fact that there probably will come a point that many of you will serve on the canvassing board, the statutes in regard to the membership have changed a little bit over the last maybe 2, 3, 4 years. We've seen a lot of changes in the election code. And just for the benefit of all of you, as an alternate member of the canvassing board, you can be the alternate for anyone, not just the county commissioner. So the alternate really is an important role. Actually, the statute has changed, and something to keep in mind for future years. There can be more than one alternate. So something to keep in mind maybe for 2026 or 2028 as we go down. That's a fairly new change. But just to kind of let you know that the alternate can be the alternate for the judge, for the supervisor, but it's not just the alternate for the other county commissioner, just to advise all of you.
And it's expected that the alternate's going to be required to be at most of these meetings anyways. So the workload is probably going to be the same. But
there's going to be quite a bit of work to be
a
done.
lot of work in this election cycle. So anyway, so that's what that is. And then Commissioner Flowers made a request to weigh in on the constitutional amendments. And I didn't respond in an email because we would vote on it and it would be a sunshine violation. So I wanted to bring it up here. And so If you want to say what you wanted to do, my thought is, we're not weighing in on the charter amendments. And personally, I would rather that if you want to weigh in on the constitutional amendments, that you do it, in a letter in your own personal one versus the commission. But if the commission wants to entertain supporting one of those things, then I think this would be the place to have that discussion.
Not to weigh in for clarity, and I spoke with Jewel about it. It's the one with the question regarding the ad valorem tax.
Was it, I'm not sure which one it was.
Yeah, Jewel helped me with that. I just was sharing in general, not to weigh in. A young lady was asking a question about why did we not have any dialogue or conversation when it came to the things, the items that were being proposed by the Charter Review Commission. And I said to the person, because we have a statutory duty to approve, we don't get to change what that, what the Charter Review Committee brings forth. And I think you already mentioned that. And so I was just sharing that with you all, not that we wanted to weigh in.
Okay,
And
good.
I got clarification from Jewel that I was correct.
Great.
And what I said to the person, that we can't change anything. We have an obligation to go ahead and pass it. So it's on the ballot for the voters to make their
Right,
decision.
right.
But I did have, when you finish, I do have two things.
Okay, go ahead, because I'm finished.
Okay, so I apologize if this did not go through the email, but I got a call from Senator Roussan, who worked with a few other legislators to name a stretch of the roadway out by Gandy after Mo Hatham is the name of the person. It was, the bill was passed, it was HB 389. And I'm sorry if you all didn't get the email, I'll resend it. But the person died in a mass shooting at a military base in Pensacola while attempting to talk down the shooter. His actions saved lives. As per FDOT, Senator Roussan is looking for a resolution from the affected counties. Part of Gandy is Pinellas. Before they can rename the portion of the bridge. So I will resend the PDF if you all didn't get it. I did send it when his staff sent it to me. But I was sick, so I may have thought I hit send and didn't.
Okay.
But in the PDF, it has all the backup. But before they can move forward and actually have the naming of the bridge on our side, they require a resolution from the county.
Okay. Jewel, is that something we can do on Tuesday if everyone is agreement, or is that something we need to wait till the following commission meeting?
I think if we can get, if it requires a resolution, we really would need to have, I think, the resolution, like a hard copy of it,
Yeah.
for people to take a look at. So I think it just depends on how quickly we could get something like that together. I don't know the urgency of the request and whether there'd be any harm in waiting, but I don't see a problem with voting on it if we can get the resolution and have that ready for you all to vote on, essentially.
Okay. Okay.
So I'll re-forward that again. And again, I apologize.
Okay.
if y'all didn't-
That's fine. Save your voice. That's all right. We got you.
And the other, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
I just have a question about that gentleman, he was a resident of St. Petersburg, stationed in Pensacola, correct? Okay,
At the military base,
yeah, okay.
the Air Force base.
Yeah, I
is up there.
wholeheartedly support that.
And his widow, she, would like to come and, I guess, speak whenever we bring it up on. but
Well, then
I
maybe
told-
we shouldn't rush it. Maybe we should get enough time so we have it,
Yeah.
and then she could be invited.
It's all in the email I'm gonna send.
Okay.
Present.
So once we get that, we'll follow through.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
The second is, of course, we have NACO starting on Friday. And of course, Bill Truax, who was the president of FAC, is running to be second VP of
NACO.
NACO. And what they are asking is if we won't have full attendance in order for him to be able to receive all of the votes from our county, and it's with every county, that if that is not the case, if a proxy could be done, which is allowed, and the proxy can be, that is if everyone agrees that they would like to support Bill Truax to be the second VP. That, that can be done and handed over to the current president, who is Mr. Terry Burrows. And he would submit all 7 of our votes at voting time. That way, if someone is out of pocket, if you can't be there, all 7 of our votes get counted because it is one person, one vote. So that was asked while we were at FAC last week. And I know sometimes Commissioner Edgars typically doesn't go, so I told him I would share that information and ask that. It would come from you. There's a document that he would send you, but it would come from you, basically.
So, I'm sorry, you have a question? Commissioner Long, microphone.
So, Commissioner Flowers, do you know what day they're going to be taking that vote? Monday.
Monday. I've got it on my calendar.
I got it in all my, I can get that to you today, what time the vote is supposed to take place. Yeah. And that's, a lot of counties are doing that because people have other obligations.
Yeah. So, would anyone entertain doing that as a combined? I know Bill, great guy, like him a lot. Charlie, I know you know him. Brian, you know him.
Yeah, if you need a motion to support you signing that document to be proxy for all 7 votes, I would make that motion.
Second.
Okay. So, Commissioner Latvala, I don't know how, Dave, how do you feel about that?
This would be having a Florida representative in leadership of NACO versus someone from another state. That's basically.
Well, that's good.
Right.
That's great.
Some of you know him personally?
Yeah,
I can
the 3
forward
of us know him.
Yeah.
Janet, do you know him?
Yes,
Actually,
absolutely.
all right, so 5 of us know him.
Okay.
I can forward you
That's fine.
his info that we submitted to
No, it's
NACO,
fine.
so you can read up.
As long as you
on it.
personally know him,
Yeah.
and that's
Oh,
important to me, not just because he's Florida, but that's important as well. But
He is of good character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Work as a contractor.
I'll support it too then. So.
Thank you.
Great. So-
Appreciate that.
Well, it's consensus. So we're
Because
just looking for
It's
consensus.
by Monday,
It
right?
looks
You
like
said?
it's at 9:30 a.m.
9:30 a.m.
On the
on Monday,
third
so
floor.
you wouldn't be there.
Over there
So,
at the
so it's
convention
more, we're not voting, we're doing a consensus. So if we have consensus for me to vote for the 7 of us, and I've got consensus, we'll have to get it from Commissioner Latvala when he comes back.
I will have Terry Burrows, Commissioner's Office, contact
Great.
Ashley.
So he would get 7 votes then?
He would get 7 from us. We have, believe it, well, you could believe it, because we have one of the largest voting blocks. The state of Florida has one of the large voting blocks. Every single county has someone attending, and every single county is committing its full vote for him.
Commissioner Latvala, we're looking for consensus on voting. You good with that? All right, good. Okay. All right, so then we'll get that taken care of, and I'll be there on Monday to make those votes.
Thank you.
Okay. And anything else? Anyone else have anything to add?
I do.
Okay, Commissioner Long.
Thank you. I have 2 things that I would just, not necessarily that we have to go into in-depth discussion on, but Barry, maybe you know the answer. The extreme heat that we have been dealing with over the last week or so, did we add extreme heat into the resiliency and sustainability plan for the county? Do you know? I think that's a really important thing for us to look at, because when you think about how many of our citizens work outside in construction, transportation, our roads. I happen to have a close relative that is a lineman for Duke Energy, and I passed coming up here yesterday, huge amounts of those trucks on the Starkey Road, repairing the poles and changing the poles out. So, you know, I do think we have an obligation to add it into our plan. if nothing else, to protect our own citizens. So that's number one.
So in response, there's two pieces. One, it is not. We have things about, heat and taking care of people, but it's not a specific identified thing. I also have concerns under Governor DeSantis's recent legislation that prohibits us adopting things like that. So even to modify that, I'd have to look
We already have a
at.
plan, Barry,
Well-
on resiliency and sustainability.
We do.
So if we add that in as a component, I don't see that that's contradicting
I'd have to get
anything.
with the county
It's for
attorney's
our
office
own
regarding
citizens.
that new legislation that he just signed.
What?
Governor DeSantis's
Oh, I
recent-
know all about that new legislation. I mean, don't you find it ironic that we treat our animals better than we do our humans?
I'm just trying to respond to what the
I
legislation
All
was.
I'm
I don't
asking
know.
for, I'm not asking for anything new other than add it in what we already had, because the way I read it, if you are talking about your own employees, then it's not a problem. I had a conversation with Jewel yesterday about it.
I see. Well, okay, I mean, we'll take a look at it. For our own employees, we do take care of them, okay? So I don't want us to think that we don't take care of our employees, because we do. But we'll take a look at it from the resiliency point.
Thank you.
And you had another?
And the second one is, more and more and more over the last couple of weeks, I am hearing from citizens about the problems in our subdivisions and family and neighborhoods about Airbnbs. And I know we've had the discussion here a lot on the subject matter, but it continues to be, I mean, here's the example this one woman gave to me yesterday. In one of the Airbnbs in her neighborhood, they had a whole house full of teenage boys, unsupervised, no adult, but teenage boys. I mean, that is just nuts, and it's an accident waiting to happen, in my mind. So surely, what? No, I don't disagree. Bunch of teenage boys.
I'm gonna copy you on their proposed link.
I don't know, but if it was at your house next to your house in your neighborhood, I don't think any of us would like it.
So Commissioners, you just recently took this up and authorized us to create a program and enhance our ordinance. Now we have to look at the governor vetoed.
Yeah, he vetoed it.
That bill, and so there's some limitations we have, so we have to look at that. But Kevin's developing a program to enhance enforcement. But, I guess, and you recently got a letter last couple of days that I saw of a complaint and saying, why do you allow these in residential neighborhoods? And the reality is, under state law, we cannot stop them.
Yeah.
That's the answer. Now, can we enforce, occupancy issues and parking and noise? Yes. And I also think we have to talk to the sheriff, because one of the complaints was that the sheriff told them that there's nothing they can do on like a Thursday night, and they're wanting to go to work the next day, and you get people that are on vacation and their neighbors are not. There's nothing to prohibit enforcing noise rules, and so we have to figure out whether that's in code enforcement on the sheriff, but we're going to enhance the program to do what we can do. But just for the public's purpose, we are restricted from prohibiting them by state law.
Listen, I know this may be controversial. I don't know why it is, but, we should be having these conversations with our legislative advocates, because some of these preemptions that are coming down from Tallahassee, and for those of us that have been in Tallahassee, you know what I'm talking about. I don't think they're always done with the greatest of thought about what are the unknown consequences. And maybe there's something we can, I don't buy that there's nothing we can do. There's always something you can do when something is just not right and it's not fair. And that's what we're here for, is to look out for the public health and safety of our citizens. Anything that preempts us from doing that. This is a large state, and every county has different issues. So I'm sorry, we can agree to disagree, but I think this is a really big issue, and it's even worse if you're talking about folks that live over on the beach.
Yeah.
So I'll stop
Commissioner-
whining, but you
Commissioner
get my
Eggers.
point.
Yeah, Commissioner Eggers.
Well, I agree. I think we need to do something about it. I thought we had given direction to develop a program that, almost like a code enforcement rapid response team, and we've given up on the sheriff doing it. That's my understanding, and that we were going to do it ourselves. Or at least that was what the direction we were heading for the enforcement side.
Well, we are, okay. Now, remember, when we talk about enhancing under the limits of the program, I think you added 4 positions, am I correct? Okay, 4? Well, that's not going to, provide the type of cover. I mean, the sheriff's always going to be the first responder, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just because of the pure volume. But that group is going to work with the sheriff's office, and they do work with the sheriff's office to be able to enhance how we deal with these. And we're going to have the registration program. And I don't think that was restricted by the veto. We still have that ability, correct? And so we're going to create so now at least we know where they're at. And when we get repeat complaints, and we have a file, and we can respond appropriately. So we are going to do that enhancement. They're working on that now, and the ordinances and everything right now.
And the idea was that our folks can talk to the residents that might be complaining, go in their backyard and take readings, because the noise is going on in the backyard, and so when the sheriff department, if they even have their instrument to do the reading, they do it at the street, and they may not pick up any decibel readings there. So that the idea was, with our code enforcement, you could get into the backyard and do the readings as well, because that's where the noise is.
Yeah.
And that's where we're having the problem. So I don't disagree with that. That is a major problem.
It is.
And you're right. I think the thing we can do is talk to our legislators when they're here before they go up there. I think I jokingly told them, don't do anything except fix the insurance crisis last year, because they go up there and they tend to forget some of these things, these little things that really hurt neighborhoods. I mean, I think we did this back in 2011, and in certain organizations, I know the city of Dunedin, we opted out of it. We said we don't want anything to do with it, so we were grandfathered in. We had protection. Certain areas of the city allows it, and certain areas don't allow it. But we took advantage of that. Even with that said, it's hard to enforce. But at least through the noise ordinance, the parking ordinance, all of that stuff, we can at least try to contain what the state has created. So I don't.
Well, and I would like to just, on the record, reflect that it's not just about the noise. It's about the excessive drinking, drug interaction, the language that's coming out, screaming and yelling in the middle of the night. I mean, for those of us that have raised boys, they can be pretty awful if they're in a group and you get that group think going on. No offense.
No idea what you're talking about, but no.
But
Yeah, I'm kidding.
we're in a world that has lost our ability to be respectful and just civil, and I know we can't legislate that.
No, I know.
But it seems to me that that's another avenue that law enforcement could be weighing in on when they go out there. I don't know, but it just makes me just boil when I hear the response, there's nothing we can do. I mean, how about this? How about we put a group of us together and we go visit the governor and talk about some of these issues that are happening in our community? What?
I know Commissioner Scott also has some comments.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And thank you for bringing this up, Commissioner Long. As you know, this has been, a hot button issue for me, since I got here. And it's personal to me because I've got a couple of them in my neighborhood, one of them 2 doors down, and everything that you just described, we hear every weekend. And a couple weeks ago, my neighbor who's got an 8-year-old daughter, that exact scenario was going on. You had a bunch, about 8 or 10 early 20-something guys up there yelling and screaming and shouting and all of that nonsense. He was so ticked off about it, he called 911. I mean, that's a way to get a deputy out there, right? Is you call 911, a deputy shows up. Not probably the best use of the 911 system, but he was that frustrated with it that that's what he did. So it is an issue, and I'm very much looking forward to our ordinance change, and I'm curious, since the governor did veto that bill, does that change our trajectory of what we can and cannot do? But I'll be curious to, have that discussion when the time's right.
And typically, if we have something in place, sometimes they don't, if you have something in place, they'll leave it. And so if we get something in place,
Right.
then hopefully it won't be touched. So, but yeah, there's many horror stories. I mean, we've heard,
Beaches have been just,
Reddington Beach, I mean,
shit.
their granddaughter
Horrid.
was witnessing sex acts on the neighbor's patio pool deck. So, yes, horrible things are happening. And so, and there are some neighborhoods that are worse than others, so, yeah. But we are looking forward to that. Hopefully, it'll come sooner than later, and we'll do something about that. So any other comments, questions? And thank you, Commissioner Long, for bringing both of those up. I think they're both important. So the last thing I wanted to do is thank our deputies that are here for us, Deputy Mike Winnick and Tom Manley. We appreciate you so much in your service to our citizens in our county and to us, so thank you for being here. And with that,
one final thing, Commissioner. I didn't
I
catch you.
tried.
So you requested, and Barbara and her team delivered, and you now have challenge coins, okay? And so she'll be distributing those, so you have 4 different versions. Nice. So after the meeting, she'll be distributing those for your use, and just in time for meeting your NACO friends, and so there you go.
I
So
provided a photo of the framed plaque that was given to outgoing president that had our key and challenge coin. Everybody was saying that they really liked it. He was really excited about it.
Yeah, we got the preview from Renee.
So I'm really glad that we got that done before I leave, because it's been a hot button issue of mine for a long time. When we go to these conferences, all the other, even the cities, the Florida League of Cities, they all have their own little pin or their own little key but I'm curious, Barry, you've been in the military, so maybe you can, for the good of not only everyone here who may not understand it, explain what the challenge coins, how it originated and what they use them for in the military.
Wow. I love a heads up so I can try to do that research.
I know the answer if you don't.
You probably know that answer better than me. Obviously, in the military, they use that for a variety of reasons, recognizing soldiers for great deeds, for peer recognition, for new units, especially when you do inter-service type exercises and things like that. So challenge coins have been a big deal in the military. Its history, I don't really know. I know I was excited to receive some or give those out, and stuff, but you can provide the history.
Well, it's a way that the officers reward their troops, and it's an interesting, everything in the military is just so based on tradition and respect and honor and all of that kind of thing. And so the commander or whatever will hold the coin in the palm of their hand and walk up to whoever they're going to give it to, and they'll reach out and take his hand and put the coin there and put his other hand over it. And if you've never seen them do that, believe it or not, it's very emotional. At least it was for me. So, thank you for
agree.
getting that done.
I've had,
Question, when did that start in the military?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Barbara's researching as we speak. She sent me.
World War I.
She's trying to get me information before I spoke, and
So I've had 2 COs, one from Air
Yeah.
Station and one from Sand Key. Had one in the palm of their hand and shook my hand and gave them to me, and they're coveted. They're coveted, and they gave them to me not just to give them to me, and actually I have 3 because Sector gave me one this last year
But
when
don't
we
you
did
have
the
one
climb.
from the Florida legislature?
Oh, I have plenty of those, but the ones that were given to me from the CEOs of the Coast Guard for recognizing the work I've done for the Coast Guard in the community that is coveted. I mean, I've
It
got,
just blows your way, right?
yeah, and the ones that I would give away when I had them in the legislature, I only gave them to mostly kids that really went above and beyond to do service to the community, you know, or to somebody who did something really great. I don't like you know, we don't, because it's a coveted thing, it's a special thing when you give them away. They're not just pass out pens or pins or something like that. And I think that's why we're limited in how many we're getting, right?
Correct. I forget the numbers,
Yeah.
Barbara. but
So.
24 each.
So
Correct.
for the year, yes. And so if you don't give them all one year, next year you could give to a whole class or something. But before we go, I did omit one thing. I wanted to wish Commissioner Scott a belated birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
birthday.
Are we going to sing to him?
If you want to, you can sing. I'm not a singer.
Oh, come on,
I
for
am
the
not
love
a
of
singer.
God.
I promise. And when they did surgery on my throat, they told me I'd never sing again. And I was like, and that's a good thing for everybody. So if you all want to sing, happy belated birthday.
Happy birthday, Brian. Happy birthday to you.
There you go.
Yay!
All right, if there's nothing else, then this meeting is adjourned, and we will see you on Tuesday. Thank you.